All right, community who is present, those who are online viewing and things. I should sit like a lady. That camera's looking at me.
It's also being recorded for our
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's also being recorded for our historical purposes. We like to document the conversations and the events that we do. So for those of you who don't know me, y'all are losers because you should know. Just kidding. I'm Lily Nicole. I've done a couple of these things. I'm out in the community. I am a huge advocate for mental health, resources, accesses to it, but also finding ways to calm your mental health, highlighting the fact that there aren't accesses to a lot of things. There are also not like just general knowledge that mental health needs to be minded or grounded, or that you can do it outside of like a clinical stance. So having the pleasure to talk to Ms. Tiffany today about alternatives and the necessity and the importance of calming your chaos. And I actually love, we're gonna get to a title, that's the title of her film, Calm the Chaos. I like the name chaos because actually, as we alluded earlier, people don't really know the definition of chaos and what it means. They think it's like crazy and insanity and just like everything out there, but it's just like managing everything. I like to say I am like a juggler of chaos. Like I can organize, I can manage chaos really well. In my stage management role, you herding cats. In the protest role in 2020, there was a lot of perceived chaos and angst and just energy out there that was just fuming. And I said I was in a very interesting situation because I was able to harness the chaos. I didn't dispel it, I didn't erase it. I acknowledged it was there. I was able to harness it so it fueled a movement that allowed the community to literally own the streets for 100 days and put programming in place, and thereby bringing that energy furthermore to 5 years later. Here we are at Dakota House having health and equity summits. We have like certified community health workers of violence prevention. So chaos is such a very, very strong word, and it's very tintillation. So for starters, Ms. Tiffany, would you please introduce yourself? And then my first question is, why the title Calm the Chaos? That's a very it's like trigger words, like calm and chaos. They don't really go together very often.
Right, so my name is Tiffany Cripps, and I am the producer, co-director, and host of Calm the Chaos. I am a health and wellness coach. I am a certified stress management consultant. And Calm the Chaos just came about because I still, even though I know all the things, still struggle with managing my own stress. And this goes back to more than a couple years ago, I was under a lot of stress. And you always think you've got it, you can handle it. Well, I started experiencing hair loss, hypertension. My body was saying, no, you are not handling it. And I wasn't the nicest person, so I decided that I did not want to feel like that anymore. And I decided that if I, knowing all the things, was struggling, there are people out here who are struggling with stress management, and stress is not going away. Like you're saying, that chaos is not going away. So what I have done with Calm the Chaos is it's actually a docuseries.
Okay.
So we have 4 segments recorded already. This is episode number 3.
Okay.
It's a work in progress, meaning that it is not in its final edit stage. You're not going to get the fancy opening, and you're not going to get all the credits at the end.
So you get to see the real deal.
You do.
There we go.
But what you will see, and what I hope that you all are able to take out of this, is to start looking at your own health and wellness. Start looking at what might resonate with you in episode 3. How are you protecting your energy, your life force? What are you doing to protect that? We talk about what it means to be great in episode 3, and what are you sacrificing to get to that greatness? Is it your health? Just giving a little bit about the chaos. And like I said, it hits with everyone because everyone is going through something in their day-to-day life.
I have a question. So when you were just now introducing yourself, you said you identified some of the things that you were going through in a stressful time in your life. And the statement you said was like, I was able to recognize that. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself that makes you qualified to recognize that? Because you do have some, no, it's cool, you do have some titles. And I'm saying that because, again, there are a lot of individuals in the community who feel like something's happening and they just don't know it, they can't name it. But you actually come from a very interesting, background. You have pursued higher education to give you like that lens to be able to identify. And I love that you admit, even though with what you're about to tell us, your schooling and your position in the community, you still weren't able to handle your chaos. So I love that vulnerability. But tell us what makes you specifically able to identify that chaos and the stressors that you were going through.
So my undergraduate degree is in exercise science.
Okay.
And I carried that over to a master's degree in public health. And when I was getting my master's degree, my project was called Health Begins From Within, and that's actually the health and wellness company that I own now. Okay. And it had to do with cardiovascular risk reduction in underserved populations. So I just carried that work, and I've always had a passion for public health and helping others and wellness, and I turned that into a business. I also have worked in the pharmaceutical industry for, I have to say, over 20 years now. I'm aging myself. And so being on one end of the spectrum of helping develop drugs and getting them to the market, and then I get to see what those adverse events are and what those side effects are. So I am always promoting taking care of your health and wellness, prevention versus actual treatment. So you have the degrees, public health, and undergrad in exercise science.
So you have this higher education, you have this systemic knowledge about why things happen, how things happen, and then like the medicine used to treat the things that are happening.
Yes.
But you also are sharing that you have a lived and shared experience of the actual symptoms and side effects of whether it's treated, non-treated, with the treatment, what happens from it. What kind of things have you witnessed with individuals who, let's say, are not versed in identifying what's going on? Like I like to call it crashing out. Like we are just out here living life. Abdullah said earlier, life is lifing right now. Like y'all, people may think that's a cute little hashtag, but life is lifing on so many elements. And I consider myself like a highly educated individual. Like I am aware of things. My mother worked in the medical field, so I also was exposed to medical terms. And I had the fortunate opportunity to be in therapy for the majority of my life from one thing or another. A single parent household, my mother put me in therapy to deal with the divorce situation. And then I alluded at a last session, I've had some run-ins with the law due to sexual violence that has happened to me, and then drug use that I used to self-medicate. So I've been exposed to stuff like that, but I have crashed out. I crashed out in 2020. Like I literally have seen myself holding like bottles of alcohol, just wandering the streets because I was crashing out and did not know, could not figure out left from right, hiding her hair, and wanted help, was screaming for help, but couldn't find help. So like, how do you talk to individuals who don't know left from right and are crashing out, helping them identify that they are a victim of their chaos or they are fighting their chaos? How do you start approaching that conversation in our community?
So that's a tough one. I would recommend that they find a trusted individual, but it all goes back into self-awareness. You have to be aware of the state that you are in, and you have to be willing to make that change. I can go places all day long, and people know what to do. They'll listen, they'll take the information, but what they do with the information once they leave the room is up to them. So they have to get to a place where they have said, I've had enough and I want to feel better, and I'm willing to go out and be receptive to the information that I'm being given. And with stress, again, back to self-awareness, people don't listen to their bodies, and the stomach aches and the headaches and the back aches and all, you just don't feel right. Why aren't you feeling right? Yeah. What were you doing 10 minutes ago before you started feeling off? So take a moment to pause and actually figure out what was going on with you before you had that shift in the mood.
So paying attention, I know a lot of older people say like your gut tells you like the things, like listen to your gut, to your gut. So like I've done a little research myself, like that's actually true. Like your gut is the first teller that your system is like going haywire, it's falling off.
Right, yes. And the thing about your body is it will shut down for you. When your body has had enough, it will shut you down, and it's not going to be at the most convenient time. So you need to listen to it and take that preventative steps to calm yourself down, calm chaos. At least try to recognize it. This is not something that happens overnight. Like I said, I still struggle with it. And you mentioned therapy. I highly recommend if that's something you're open and receptive to, speaking to someone else, because it gives you an outside perspective of what you're going through, whether it be through the church or whether it be through whatever means that you have. Don't feel like it's a weakness because you want to go have a conversation. That's all it is, a conversation with someone. So I have done that. And then also just knowing that it's okay not to be okay. With managing your chaos, it doesn't mean that you're happy and puppies and rainbows all over the place all the time. It's okay not to be okay, but don't sit in that space. Have your moment, acknowledge your feelings, and then decide that you don't want to feel like that, and you're going to do what you think you need to do to, in a positive way, move out of that space.
Feel your feels, acknowledge where you are.
Absolutely, you have to, yes.
What about like showing emotion? Sometimes it's like easy to feel your feels, and your feels make you like angry, or they make you sad, or like you're saying sometimes, or alluding to like a depressive state where you feel immobilized and you just want to sit there stagnant. What is the next step after feeling the feels? I know you said choosing not to sit there, but what are some like actual practical steps? Like, okay, I'm admitting, like I have heavy feelings. I have heavy feelings that make me immobilized. Okay, then what?
So are we dwelling on those feelings? Are we sitting there dwelling on those feelings? Or are we visualizing what we want, where we want to see ourselves? What does that look like? And sitting there in that space is not getting you to where you want to be or what you want that space to look like. So that's my thought on that. It all comes from having to want to consciously not feel like that anymore and be willing to take that step to get yourself out of that place through the resources that are out here in the community.
Do you think some of the chaos that we're dealing with, especially in 2025, whether it's from like the administration, from our community, from lack of resources, like you can name a million and one things, but like the chaos that we're dealing with right now, do you think it is something that can be addressed? Like, can we put like a descriptor on it? Or is it just in our head? Is it a figment of our imagination?
No, it's not a figment of anyone's imagination. The things are happening out there. Now, how much of it do you want to expose yourself to? We have a choice whether or not we want to sit there and watch the news at 7 o'clock. And I say this because during COVID, I had to turn the news off. I just absolutely could not deal with the news anymore. And I did that for my own mental health. So how much of the outside noise are you exposing yourself to? Because you're taking that in. And that will change your feelings and your moods and things like that. It can make you angry. Now you've seen something on the news and you're walking around angry, looking at the person down the street. I don't like the way you look.
Yes.
So exposure, same thing with social media. Same thing with social media. You stop for a second and you pause on something. It's in that algorithm. So now that's what you're going to see all the time. And you're just feeding your brain. So with relaxation, let's switch to relaxation.
Yeah, I love that.
Because you recognize that you're stressed, but a lot of people don't know what actually makes them relax. So I would encourage everyone to just sit there and think about, what do I like to do? Like, when do I feel my best? When do I feel calm? And if you can't identify that, that's some more work that you need to do. Or maybe you need to really start thinking about placing some relaxation into your life. And then I also go into, I'm all about this 10-minute me time. We are so busy all the time. You're doing things are on your mind. But everyone should give themselves at least 10 minutes of self-care, me time. I don't care if you need to go sit in your closet. I have a lot of people who tell me they sit in their car before they go in the house.
Not like a music jam session.
But some people have kids and they'll still come out. So I recommend you sit by the mailbox down the street for your time. But, take the time that you need and don't snooze yourself. That's your time. So take your time. And you need that time to be able to reset and decompress and give your mind a break, take your breaths, and then go handle whatever you need to handle.
I saw a post on social media the other day, and it was talking about the robe theory. That it's primarily women, but it goes to any genders, that we think a robe is like a fancy, luxurious lifestyle. Like only the rich people wear robes around their house because that implies that you got time to just walk around your house in a robe. But like everybody should buy a robe, and everybody should either get out the shower or before they go to bed, just walk around in the robe for like 10 minutes. And what you're saying, that kind of like, I receive it in that manner. Like for 10 minutes, I can wear the robe because for 10 minutes, I don't have to do something. Like, you don't always have to be doing something. So that's something that like I've started incorporating in my routine. Like yes ma'am, like when I get out the shower in the morning or if it's at night, like I wear my robe and I don't immediately run and lotion and put my jammies on or whatever. No, like if it's in the morning, I will walk down, get a cup of coffee, I'll open my back door, let my dog sit on the porch. And for 10 minutes, I'm just wandering the house in my robe. Like, am I doing stuff productive? Yeah, like maybe I'll lay my clothes out or maybe I'll make my bed. But like I force myself to wear that robe for 10 minutes because I can't run out the house in my robe. Like, so clearly I'm not ready to go. So I'm allowing myself to just not be at the ready.
How did you get to that point though? How did you get to the point of saying
But it's okay.
It's okay, and that's the problem is a lot of people don't give themselves permission. They have that guilt. And me too. Sometimes I'm like, my body's like, okay, Tiffany, you've done enough. You need to just sit. But my mind is still like, you need to do X, Y, and Z. So I'm not fully committed to the sit. So how did you fully commit to the road?
I think actually what you said is probably why, because it's not committing to sitting. Because I agree with you. Like, I can't just sit and do the thing. Like, I still feel guilty sometimes just sitting and like reading a newspaper, which is why I don't subscribe to a newspaper anymore, because it was a waste of my money. And I did. Like, Star News, like, loved them. I used to subscribe. I paid the thing, and I'd actually open the paper. But then I felt guilty because like I need to be doing something. I need to get ready for work, or I got to get ready for a protest, or I should be planning something, or there's an email I've got to respond to. But it's not sitting. But it's a moment of luxury that I'm allowing myself. Because like I said, if the world was on fire, or, you know, if someone called me to run outside, I'm going to need 2 extra minutes to throw clothes on. So there's still that, like, I'm not ready yet to be accountable. I get to be just unattainable for 10 minutes. So the robe allows me that ability, like, you can't call me right now. I can't do anything for you. Technically, I'm naked. But it's an active choice every day that, like, I still have to talk myself through, because I am working on not feeling guilty about doing absolutely nothing. And I think that, especially women, I know we have this pressure to take care of everything, everyone. Every event's got to be prepared or planned, or Sister Galloway, everything's got to be fed, things got to be prepped. Like, she's prepping right now for tomorrow. Like, I haven't seen this woman sit all day because she's just got to be ready. And that's something that we just have ingrained in our society, and that expectation that's put upon us. Obviously, I'm not a male, so I will never speak on what behalf you guys are going through, what thoughts that you have to battle and prepare. But also, I would assume there's a level of expectation, like you have duties, especially if you're in a household with children, like you're the provider, you've got to take care of, you've got errands to run. But I literally consciously tell myself every day, I'm going to wear the robe for 10 minutes. I am still going to do stuff around my house. Like I said, I'll make my bed, so I'm productive. I will intentionally pour my coffee. I'm walking around the house drinking it. So no, I'm not sitting, but I'm allowing myself those 10 minutes that I can't deal with someone else's problem right now. I don't even have a bra on, you know? So like, I'm allowing that boundary, but it is a conscious effort every single day that I'm still not struggling through. I'm still fighting to hold myself accountable. I'm fighting to allow myself those 10 minutes of perceived luxury, perceived peace even, before I fight the day. Because when I take the robe off, or, you know, like Superman, when I take off my suit and I put on the cape, the problems are going to be there. The problems are still going to be there. Manhattan's not going to burn down. I can wear my robe for 10 minutes. But it's a conscious conversation that I have with myself, that I do deserve those 10 minutes of perceived luxury.
And to be honest with you, it's not even a reward. It's a necessity.
It has become.
And people need to understand, when you switch over to self-care, it's not something that you reward yourself with. If you had a bad day, if you didn't get everything checked off your to-do list, you still need to take your 10 minutes and just sit. 2 things that you said I want to go back to. One is the women and us, you know, being the nurturers, and we're always, you know, caring and all that kind of stuff. I teach, and I make it a point that people know they need to get the support that they need. Yeah. Because we can't do all the things all the time. We just absolutely cannot. And I'm going to give you an example. If I know that I have a function like this evening, I knew I would not be home, and I am not cooking dinner. So I bring that to the attention. Hey, I'm not going to be home. I'm not cooking dinner. So there's no expectation for me to do that. Now, I can't get mad if I do this, I go home, and then there's a question of where's my dinner? Because I didn't communicate, you know, because I didn't communicate that. So now I'm mad. People are like, where's my food and all that. So you have to get the support and be honest with yourself. And it's okay to ask for support. And just know that everyone is not going to be able to provide the exact same amount or level of support. So you have to be clear when you're having that discussion with people on support and what you need, but you have to give yourself permission and be okay, because I know a lot of people, a lot of women, especially Black women, I have to say, you know, I grew up with 2 of them, and you see strong Black mom, and I don't need any help. I got this. I can do this and I can do this.
Yeah.
There was no asking for help. So you have to kind of break that I don't want to ask for help type mindset, because it's not doing anything but putting more pressure on you.
And wearing you down.
Right, absolutely. And yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And then the second thing I was going to say is about the men. So in my other job, I was facilitating a men's health workshop.
Good.
And one of the questions for the men is, how can the women help support you? Because men are probably some of the last people who are going to go to the doctor when something's wrong, who are going to be, you know, admit that they're not feeling well, they're not having the best day. They're not going to want to show any type of, I'm not
Vulnerability.
really, exactly. So men, you know, think about that and think about what kind of support you may need to get past whatever, or get through whatever you're going through, and don't be afraid to show that vulnerability a little bit and get this. You don't have to carry everything yourself. And that's hard, because men do think that I'm the one that needs to be doing providing. It's so hard to switch that mindset.
So it's like a lot of intentional communication,
Yes.
like knowing yourself well enough,
Yes.
but intentionally communicating with like your interior circle, but also like in settings such as this, like your community family, when there are events happening, knowing who you can reach out to, but being intentional about communicating your stance.
Right.
One thing that you said about self-care, again, self-care also has to be an intentional act. Audre Lorde, I believe, said self-care is an act of resistance. And so like every single day, choosing to put yourself first, choosing to rest, choosing to wear your robe for 10 minutes, you know, that's building yourself up for the continued fight. That's building yourself up to give you the power to play the role in this movement, because the movement is ongoing. The movement, if anything, is still like building momentum, climbing up that hill, you know, like we are in the throes of it, and we are going to crash out. We are going to deplete if we don't prioritize ourselves.
Deplete.
Yeah.
Deplete, that's the word. You cannot deplete. You have nothing else to give. You're sitting there empty. So at what time are you going to refill yourself?
So, Calm the Chaos, you said it's a docuseries, and there's a couple of segments, and it's in continuous production. What made you decide to do this? Like, you have a lot of experience,
Right.
You have thoughts, you have strong passion, and I love it. Like, respectfully, who cares? Why do you want to make a docuseries? Like, what made you want to document this process or put this out there? And like, not even coming here to show it publicly, because that's the second question. But what made you want to do this project in the first place?
So from chaos to clarity leads to transformation.
I like that. Chaos to clarity leads to transformation.
Right, and like I said earlier, I know that stress is something that impacts everyone. We're not the nicest people. It seems like empathy has just gone out the door. No one is thinking about others when they're outside. So Calm the Chaos is, I want people who are actually watching this to be able to see themselves in each episode. Be able to take something out of each episode, to realize there are resources out there, people you can talk to, exercises you can do, activities you can do. Something is going to resonate with you, and hopefully that is going to calm the chaos. I get these ideas in my head, but the thing about me is I'm very persistent. So if I make my mind up to do something, it's gonna happen. It has not been easy, and it's still ongoing, but I have the vision of creating something where I could share resources and help. That's the biggest thing, make an impact and help others, and that's where Calm the Chaos came from.
So you said exercises that you can do to calm the chaos. If I'm not mistaken, you've worked with Brother Sheehan for portions of this docuseries. For those of you who do not know, Brother Sheehan is a artist, an absolute like master of martial science, not just martial art or martial law, but actual martial science, and how the science behind intentional exercising and breathing can calm the chaos. And so a funny, cute little anecdotal story, when I was like crashing out in 2020, I literally found my way here through Brother Sheehan and Abdullah and Vance. And the fellows will tell you, and Brother Sheehan will tell it in a way more comical way. There was one day I was driving here to Sakota House, and like I wasn't here yet. The doors were all closed. and Abdullah and Brother Shihan were in here, and they said like the door like flew open, and like they walked outside, there was nothing there, nothing happened, and like they were just standing in front of y'all like, what in the world? Like just the door just flew open for no reason. And my car pulled up like seconds later, and I got out, and I was coming off of a very aggressive interaction. I'm from the streets, dealing with my nonprofit organizations. There was a lot of chaos in my life at that time. And Brother Shihan said, your energy literally met us at the door, to the point it called us outside. And I want to say that's like one of the first days that we started talking about the art of Qigong. And Qigong, when it was first introduced to me, was literally just breathing. And I was like, I breathe all the time. What are you talking about? And I wasn't opposed to learning it and doing it. I was just like, what are you talking? I do yoga. Of course I know how to breathe. But he was like, well, let's do intentional breathing. And he taught me the 8 diagram, just the 8 breathing diagrams, the intentional in and out, the mind of no mind, like where you clear your head and all you do is focus on the in and the out. And again, I've meditated, I do yoga, I know how to empty my thoughts. But until he taught me that with the intentionality and the word of you're calming your chaos, I'm harnessing my energy, not erasing it, but I'm owning it, I'm claiming it. And through that, like claiming my power, it felt so different. Everything felt different, like my body felt different, like my energy, I was aware of my energy, but also I felt different interacting with some of the aggressive parties, some of the parties that were in my inner circle that I was dealing with, my personal and interpersonal relationships, but then also how I approached planning, being brought into intellectual spaces and mapping out what we can do and what we should do and helping me on my vision and to get me to where I'm at. So I love how you said like activities and exercises you can do, because again, something as simple as the 8 diagram of breathing, I laughed at it, but the first time I did it, I innately felt like this is what I should be doing. And I've been blessed to go through the training and to be a seafood, to also now be a trainer of it. And I've brought it into some of my other activism spaces. And just this simple 8 diagrams is an exercise that when you're done, even if you just do one rotation, you feel grounded. And I'm really, really big, because I'm an earthy girl, so I'm really big. When Brother Shihan said that you ground, like literally by putting your feet in the dirt, man, I kicked my shoes off. I said, it was outside, it was cold, like it was like rainy days, and I'm like, oh, we barefoot out here. Because you gotta ground yourself, you gotta like actually feel the energy from the earth. So what are some exercises that you personally have done? I know you also have gone through the trainer. You also are a seafood, my man. Like you joined the ranks of like Qigonging. But what are some things that you do personally, and or things that maybe you bring into your community spaces, or even, I don't want to call them client, but like patient relationships? Like when you're talking and guiding and educating folks, what are some things that you bring to the table to show them, to highlight them, and to combat the folks like me, like, girl, I know how to breathe.
Oh,
right?
gosh, no,
because there's also like, I'm not dispelling it, but there are people out there like, I can breathe.
Right.
Like, what do you bring to the space?
So let me just go back and say,
Yes.
for episode number 3 that you all are gonna see, I met Chris Everett.
I would love Chris. Yeah,
yeah.
Wilmington on Fire is the pub.
Yes.
Chris Everett
Yes.
is the filmmaker for Wilmington on Fire 1, Wilmington on Fire 2, which is in production. And he's also done quite a few other things, including this one that she's worked with her.
Yeah. Yes, so meeting with Chris, he told me you need to go talk to Shihan. I said, okay, so I met with Shihan and I was just listening to what, we were sitting out there.
In the garden.
And just, listening to what he was saying. And so we did the filming and I was like, you know what? I need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I started taking classes and then I forgot that there was even a training portion of it. I just started going for the stress and the breathing and the anxiety. And then a year later, he's like, well, it's been a year. I was like, oh, I completely forgot.
It goes by so fast, right?
Yes. And also Hotworks.
So I've heard of Hotworks. Like,
Right.
tell the people what Hotworks is.
Hotworks is where you go, sit in a box. It's like it's wood and it's infrared light
Yep.
going on, therapy going on. But you're hot, and then you're exercising. And so I first went with one of my coworkers. We went to do hot yoga, and I don't like to sweat. And I'm like, Lisa, you have me in here, and I'm sweating. And
First time I did it, my scalp was itching. I was like, what is happening? I was like so overstimulated.
It's too much. But then I actually did it again with Chris.
Okay.
You'll see that. And then, long story short, I went and got a membership because it's 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes. You get in, you're sweating, you're burning, and when you leave, I actually felt calmer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in there. Let me see. when I start the workshops, I do a lot of workshops. So when I start my workshops, I now start off with Mushin no Mushin.
Mind of no mind.
Yes, I start them off with that. And I have them sit, and then we go through some 4-7-8 breathing. But just to get them in a space of recognizing that they chose to be here, this is their time. Let's empty out your mind and be able to receive the information that you're going to get. So I do incorporate that into it. But with the self-care and the exercise, you just have to be, because I still struggle with this myself, going to the gym, being intentional about putting that time in there and not snoozing yourself. I tell my people I work with, put it on the calendar. 15 minutes on a Friday, that's going to be your day to do. I use it as training. 15 minutes on a Friday, that's your day to do your training. I'll have people have that notification go off, but hey, I'm just going to push the snooze button on this, and I'm going to keep doing whatever it is. So don't snooze yourself. If you make time, or you put time in your calendar, or a certain time of day that you want to do something, that's your time. Make sure you stop and take care of yourself. I hope I answered your question.
No, you did, and I love that. And I like something that you said. Like, give yourself time to do this. Like, hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
But also, you spoke you wanted to do this. You chose to, in your case, commit to the class. So, like, do it fully. Mind of no mind, like clearing your head from everything. Because like we said earlier, like all the problems are going to be there. All of your obligations are going to be there. But for this 15 minutes or 30 minutes, just exist in your space, exist in your head, whether it's Qigong or whether it's yoga or going for a bike ride. Allow yourself that opportunity to think about nothing but the activity you're pursuing.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So we're going to jump into the film, but I would like to ask one last thing. What is I guess you said like your tagline, your headline, like if you had to say like, coming soon, tell us like, why should we watch Calm the Chaos? I mean, other than like I'm super interested in the people in it, like selfish probe for myself, like tell the strangers, why should they watch Calm the Chaos?
Actually, from calm to clarity equals transformation. So we're going to take a journey with people with their challenges and their stress. We're going to put some action plans in place and help them try to get to a state of calm or figure out how to get there, given the resources.
Okay, so everyone, we're going to watch the film real quick, and then after the film is done, we're going to have a Q&A. So things that you guys noticed or something that stuck out to you that you would like to ask our wonderful creator of this art content. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I asked a question. I didn't shake thinking I shut down my brain too, but I just kept thinking. I brain all the time when my teacher say I do like a draw or something, I do the work, and I don't want to do nothing, and then I hurt my feeling, and she said come out the class, and she said talking in the hallway, and she said, what's wrong? I said I don't want to do no homework, I'm doing the draw, and I break it down, and it's just it coming. I don't know. There's a pill, the feeling I said, there's something in my head. It told me to do it, I can't do it. And my head can't do it, and it shut down fast. I said, I don't know if it's coming fast or something says something in my brain, and something say, do it, and then my teacher say, do it, I can't. It says, shine my ear. I said, I can't do it. And we say, how? And they say, you do something. I say, I want to. And they would say, and when it's something, my teacher said, I know it's something wrong, it's just sad face down. And she said, come on, talking me out. And I said, and said, I want to do nothing. I want to do no homework. I want to do a study. I want to write down and spell the word. I can't read. And I don't know how to learn some stuff. Writing about a childhood book. And just like when I go to my aunt says like dinner, my brother take me to dinner. I go to dinner, and doctors at the dinner she said, what's going on? Why your pressure high? I said, my pressure high. Just clean my teeth.
Yeah.
And I said, y'all just hurt me in pain. That's my teeth, my gum pain.
Yeah.
And I say, that's why I ain't eating nothing. That's why it's going up high, the pressure.
Yeah.
And that's why I get up in the morning. I said that's why I ain't get it. That's why I ain't drinking water. That's why they put a shutdown fan.
Yeah.
And that's why I sweating red hot. And that's why pressure go up red high. And that's what told me you going high. That's what it is. You ain't eat nothing.
Yeah.
And that's why I take medicine. That's why I drink water. That was still good high, so I was nervous. That's all it is. And I've been like my teacher, like we go I could fit something, like we go I could fit the next week, and we go around the block to the field. That's why I've been sweating, I've been tired, I've been hot, and my head sweat fast, and that's what coming down the till. That's why my head sweating, all so wet. That's why. But pressure, it come in. I thought I get up in the morning. I don't know what I'm doing. I can get up, and just something I get up. I just sit in the bed. I said, "This is my leg doing that."
Yeah.
I can move my leg. I can't move it. It's just the knee doing it. And that's when pain is coming, it goes. And my teacher said, "That's what it is. It's just my knee. Just fluid in my knee going that way, and then going the other way. It stop. I go this one. I move, and this move is hurting. This don't move." And I say, that's what because they do something active fast and something moving to it, and that's why my feet are moving the bone. That's why I can't move it good. That's I move into the exercise, I do anything, and I move my arms, I do the knee. That's why I move my feet, and that's why my feet don't want to move. I ain't move, and that's why the knee I'm moving, my leg move. That's why it shut down and moving faster. That's what it is, the problem is. Yeah, that's why. And that's why my teacher said, you drink live water, cold water. And my church pastor, he said the same thing. And he had crush, and he said you need live water, and that's why he drank the water. That was the same thing. It's all this drink.
So it's something you mentioned, like chronic pain, like that is something that's prevalent, especially with like stress and the different traumas that we're going through, whether it's mental trauma or like physical trauma, like community violence, like that is a form of violence. Like that chronic pain is a symptom, it's a result of like the exposure to violence, whether it's like poor food, whether it's like physical like limitations, whether it's medical access and making sure you have the proper balance and treatment. That stress, that is something that we do deal with as a symptom of things that we're living through.
One of the things he also was saying was that because he started off by saying it's like class. He just don't want to.
Just want to shut down.
He shuts down.
Yep.
And then his teacher tries to engage him, right, to get act and calm him down. But he was also realizing that in addition to being frustrated and not being able to do it, you just don't want to do it. His body don't want to do it. His mind don't want to do it first, right? And then the conversation about his body physically also not. And then he was saying that I guess he went to the doctor and he was saying it was because of blood pressure. Right. So he needs to move more. He needs to drink more water, be more engaged, whatnot. So I guess the system, kind of talking what you guys talking about, like getting physically active, right? He's literally sharing with his therapeutical strategy they have for him, like get him outside, move around, right? Get his blood going. Also drinking more water because he didn't want to eat. Right?
Because you're also in pain. Like you're physically.
His teeth was an issue with his teeth or whatnot. So it's kind of really explaining, affirming that everything you guys talking about, kids actually went through it. It's been a therapeutic process of being able to like drink, kind of have conversations to kind of calm yourself down.
And he's been at Qigong with us before too. Like he's been, he's taking Qigong classes with us as well.
Therapeutic process.
No, that's.
I want to eat nothing. When I'm home, that's not what I want. So to shut down the queen.
Thank
you, bro.
I go through that as well. You are not alone, honey. I go through that as well. Ready? Yes. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to show the film, and please, audience, as we're watching it, please reserve a comment or a question or something that sticks out to you. We'd like to have a little back and forth at the end of it, okay? Awesome. I don't want to block anybody. Am I blocking you? Wait, are we turning the lights off?
Yes. Turn the lights off.
It's my first time asking today.
Goodness, how you doing today?
Good, I'm good. Good film business, stuff like, so just constantly working on films, got family coming over later. We just finished up our grants for my 9-to-5 job. That we, filmmakers and stuff like that. And so that wrapped, yesterday. So just overall.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So before we get into all that, I want to take you back to Saturdays of your youth.
Right.
What did your youthful Saturdays look like? I know for myself, it was what I remember, cartoons in the morning.
Right.
Not these cartoons, good cartoons.
Right.
It was some cereal, and it was just that, like, I could feel that childhood just of nothingness. Now, when I got older, it turned into you need to get your chores done by 12.
Yeah.
So what did your Saturday childhood look like?
Me and my friends were going to the basketball court.
Okay.
That's what we did really mostly on the weekend. So it was always the cartoons, Saved by the Bell episodes, and then we all get on our bikes and we went to the basketball court.
All right, what is your 9 to 5? I don't even say 9 to 5. Let's just say, what does your day-to-day look like, and what are all the things that you are involved in?
Well, my day-to-day, what it looks like is very stressful. Waking up in the morning, I would say about 8 o'clock. I'm the artistic director at the Southern Documentary Fund. That position is very demanding. We support a lot of makers throughout the South. And so that's pretty much my 9 to 5. And after that, it's time to meet my wife. She gets home after work, that type of thing, have dinner. Just catch up with both each other's day. Then she goes to bed and I kind of work on, my outside 9 to 5 projects.
What's your outside 9 to 5? Because I want the whole thing. You got this.
Yeah.
So you have Southern Documentary Fund.
Yep.
That's one thing.
Yep.
Then, of course, you have family time,
Yep.
which is another thing.
Yep.
So keep going.
And then, so after that, my other passion is, it's my business. I'm a filmmaker on the side. People might know me from the documentary Wilmington on Fire. So, we're in post-production with Wilmington on Fire Chapter 2. And also a martial arts documentary called Grandmaster, the Victor Moore Story. And so last year also, I started my own festival, which I began. Which, I got the shirt on now, Green Chambers.
Right.
Green Chambers Festival. And just had a huge concert with Tyler Kweli.
It was amazing. I was there.
So we got some good momentum now of doing the festival, December 4th through the 7th. And so, we're picking up some momentum, some sponsors trying to come on. So a lot of times I'm doing those type of things outside of my 9 to 5. I would say we get 8 to 10 hours.
A day.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
That's just the 9 to 5. And then maybe 4 or 5 hours with family, with my wife.
Right, yes.
And then after that, a couple of hours to do my outside projects.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about John Henry.
Right.
Black man, and he was trying to prove his worth by being able to make the machine.
Right.
But at the end, it cost him his life.
Right.
So how does that resonate with you?
Oh, since, I'm a student in this level of history, especially black history, the whole John Henryism really, sticks with me. Just growing up knowing that a lot of times we have to be 100 times, better than everything everyone else does. And, we're trying to prove ourselves constantly. And we just realized that, it's still going to get enough. And the whole thing with John Henry was that he did all this stuff and it cost him his life.
Yes.
And so I know a lot of times as African Americans, we deal with a lot of that type of stress with the weight of the world on our shoulders, then, home life, job life, being business owners, it's tough.
I mean, there is that feeling of, I know a lot of people, African Americans experience that we have to work a little bit harder.
Right.
We have to stay in the office a little bit longer just to be able to prove that we deserve a seat at that table.
Right.
Or we need to be in that room. We deserve to be in that room. And we're just trying to prove our worth. So what are your thoughts on that?
It's a lot. It's a lot. I think you should definitely have some folks that you definitely can talk to, like my cousin.
Right.
He's a person that I've always been able to just reach out and talk to, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And just having that type of support system, dealing with all of this, I think that's a lot of that stuff is what you need.
So going back to John Henry though, doing all that, it was at the cost of health.
Right.
Being under a lot of stress, And I've experienced hypertension.
Right.
I've experienced hair loss. I've experienced not being the nicest person in my, personal life. Being kind of grumpy.
Right.
So, Chris, how are you maintaining yourself, and are you doing all the things affected your health any?
Oh, it's affected my health a lot. Weight gain over the years. A lot of people don't know this. I used to be a model back in my day.
Okay.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
But dealing with that pressure and stress.
Yes.
This came with a lot of ego. Stop taking care of yourself, stop working out, and then that caused me to get type 2 diabetes as well.
Okay.
So that's something I'm doing now health-wise.
So what are you doing as far as, so you know that, you saw what the stress did to you, you saw the physical impact of that. So what are you doing now to try to balance that out?
I try to take walks, spend time with wife. Also, I stopped drinking as well. So I did a lot.
You getting any exercising?
I try to. I try to get some walks here and there. You got arthritis in my knees, so
that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because I want to take it back too. So where do you get your work ethic from?
Well, I think I get my work ethic from my grandfather. I would say both my grandparents actually. My grandmother was a nurse, 30 years. My grandfather worked at the wire plant, remaking wire for about the same 20, 30 years. And just seeing them dedication, to the job and to the community as well. And so just seeing them, just being hardworking, people, hardworking couple, that really inspired me to just work hard.
Was there any do you think your grandfather felt that expectation that as the man, I am supposed to do the things?
Right.
Yeah, and did any of that, how was his health?
Well, his health wasn't that good. He had diabetes as well.
Okay.
Weight gain over the years. And, he came from that other school. That time, like you just said, man is supposed to be alive, he's supposed to be hard working. And it's all smart. You know what I'm saying? But, he has some help from my grandmother. So, so like I said, she was a nurse for about 30 years.
Okay. One more thing is, I want to take it back to the black male.
Right.
And health. And self-care is not just about going to get massages and for me getting your nails done. Of course, those things are important, but self-care also involves your physicals. If you feel that something's not right, you're going to get it looked at.
Right.
So did you, as a black male, have any type of hesitation going to the doctor, or did you recognize what was going on with your body and take that step?
Well, I think I recognized it when I found out I was type 2 diabetic. I was ignoring everything, ignoring all the steps, all the signs, just didn't get it. I just felt like, I'm a machine. I'm gonna keep working and I'll eventually get to it. And I think that's what happens a lot of times as black men. We just feel like, I'll get to it. And sometimes when you get to it,
it's too late. It's too late.
Hello, how are you guys? Nice to see you as well.
How's it going?
I'm good, how are you?
All right.
Chris.
Alex, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So what brings you in today?
Well, I wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
And so I heard about you guys and just wanted to see what it was all about.
Definitely.
I'm a type 2 diabetic, so I'm just trying to find things that, just help. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. So HotWorks is made for everybody. It doesn't matter what you're currently doing in your workout routine. Maybe you've never done anything before.
Right.
You're gonna get every level from beginner to advanced, and you have so many sessions to choose from. You can really choose what works best for you and the goals that you're trying to achieve. So you're in the right place. So another thing I'd love to mention is one of our owners is actually a type 1 diabetic.
Good.
So this is actually how he ended up opening HotWorks and found out about it.
Good.
Is because in addition to what he was already doing for his health and wellness routine, using HotWorks as a supplement actually helped manage all of his levels. So when he goes to the doctor, they're always thoroughly pleased with what they're seeing.
Right.
Not only is he doing what they're telling him to do, but just adding this on top is really hitting it home from him and really managing what he's got going on inside of his body and just helping him feel better overall. So I think it should really help you. It's not immediate for everybody, but I will say I'm pretty confident you're going to come out feeling pretty good today.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's get in there. So we're going to be doing a hot blast in sauna number 8 today. So you can control the entire sauna. So I'll just show you that before we hop in there. This is going to be mirrored on the other side of the sauna as well. So you have your timer, you have your temperature. Infrared works best between 120 and 130. Now that's not to say if you're starting out for your first time, I like to start people on 120 just so they get the benefits of the infrared, but it allows you that window to move up, move down, and do whatever's comfortable. Even if halfway through you guys, okay, we can handle more, we can turn it up a little bit, or if you're like, okay, this is more than I was expecting, turn it down a couple degrees and just work your way up as you go. But 15 minutes is gonna fly by, you can do anything in 15 minutes. So I'm gonna start you on 120 if that's comfortable for you guys. Your timer is good, and you also have the light you can turn off, you have your volume in there you can adjust, so really just make it your own home, do whatever's comfortable. I'll let you guys adjust your bikes before we hop in as well. And you guys are gonna need these, so here's some sweat towels for you guys, and you have water and everything as well.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, let's hop in. Inhale through that nose. Exhale, breathe back out. And as you do, where are you going to now? Where do you go? We have a very short time together. So just remember that I got you right here with me. Wait for it. And the attention is 17 to 24 of those numbers. Feel that tension build. Just sit this for a little bit.
I'd fuck with the test, I'd be able to be like, I'm more fast than you. So you're better than me.
Okay,
Maybe.
Thank you. You too.
So Chris, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? This whole week was long, and I really needed some good energy, so pick me up. So just doing the workout, it actually energized me.
Did you?
Yeah.
I am. It's just like I'm the opposite on everything, but I want to go and just lay down. Like I feel so relaxed.
Right.
But that is a good thing, and that's the feeling that I had the last time I was here. I did hot yoga. I'm not a yoga person, but I did hot yoga. But I still was able to just sit and absolutely, you just feel a little bit like looser, not as heavy. So good. And I also saw that you got a membership, so that Cripps group right there.
Oh yeah, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I just wanted to find something that I can kind of add to what I'm already doing, you know, with the walking and light martial arts stuff, qigong stuff, and so I think this is a good compliment to what I'm doing. And I love the facility. Folks were very helpful. And like I said, my wife was already telling me about this place somewhere. So when they got both of them some memberships.
Oh, I love her.
You mentioned, you know, being stressed.
Right.
And people can look at this and say, that's Chris Ever. What is he talking about? He's stressed.
Right.
He's walking around shooting films, throwing festivals, meeting the people, all, and that seems like it is fun.
Right.
So when you say stress, what does that mean to you? How is what you're doing stressful?
I run a very well-known, the artistic director for a very well-known nonprofit documentary organization. So I'm artistic director of that. They come with some pressure and stress, doing my film projects, also doing a lot of big events, doing a lot of celebrities. But I think what really makes that stress and it's happened is just my need and wanting this to be great and excel to the highest form. Just growing up, like I said, seeing Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, those guys just excelled at the highest form, and they would always talk about it. We could get with them. Like they won all these accolades, but they still come to practice early. They still stay after practice late and get the work in. It's still extremely excel. Even though they had all these accolades, it's still didn't do it. And so it kind of goes back to we talked earlier about the whole time everything. And when you're African American, you have to help your work sometimes hard to succeed. But then a lot of times, in our community, we don't have the access to the country. And so a lot of times we have to use our own slaves to get out the world. And to do these things, whether it's film projects or events and festivals. And so that leads to a lot of other pressure, which is financial stress as well. And when you're doing these things, you don't want to really make them change because in our community, it's kind of known for some of those type of things. And so we value that. We couldn't leave communities together slow. We try to make our things top notch. All with the community, what we're doing, and also for the special celebrities that we have too. We want to make them feel comfortable at this time as well. And so a lot of leads to a lot of stress and pressure. putting these things together.
What about support? How does that mean?
Support is huge. You know, you got to have support. You got to have support from your family, from your community, your loved ones, friends, and everything. But sometimes you don't get it at first. I remember when I first started doing film, people were like, man, what are you doing? What is documentary? You know what I'm saying? When I first did Wilmington on Fire, I didn't really have that full support. But once I got it and started doing it and getting it out there, people really started to see the vision and saw what I was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that support. But even if you don't have the support, you still got to find a way to just push through. But eventually people will come around.
You mentioned wanting to be great. What does that mean? Like, where does that, how do you put that into what you're doing? You can remove something that is causing you stress, you know, hey, this is bothering me.
Right.
Can we alter it? Can we change it? Can we remove it?
Right.
And so you've chosen to keep going. You have
Right.
not removed what you're doing. So
Right.
talk to me a little bit about why not and what your idea of greatness is.
Well, I think with me, I have to just be great. You know, it's just a thing that you get.
How does that feel? Like, what does that feel? How will you know you've reached greatness?
Well, to me, I don't think you can ever reach it. I think that's what keeps you going, keeps you motivated
Okay.
to be better. Just going back to what I was talking about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You know, when people look from the outside, they're like, man, what are y'all talking about? Y'all have already achieved it.
Yes.
5, 6 championship rings, MVPs. You know, worth $1 billion. You know, what are you talking about? You know, you haven't achieved it yet. But I think that that's what keeps you motivated to keep going. You know, and just not be complacent.
Moving forward, give me 3 health-related goals that you're going to try to implement.
Well, one, I want to lower my stress. 2, even with my doctor, since I am type 2 diabetes, I can't get rid of this. And I think that's one of my main goals, is to get rid of this diabetes. And they've all laid it out pretty simple. I just haven't done it like I should. But I really want to do that as my main goal, is get rid of this diabetes, just changing my diet, changing my whole lifestyle in regards to just exercising more consistently. And I think the stress, eliminating the stress as much as possible, is going to help with that as well.
I want to challenge you a little bit, and I want you to break those down even smaller, because those are very broad.
Right.
So I would like for you to focus on one and then figure out what you're going to do to achieve the diabetes, whether you're already walking.
Right.
So are you going to increase that by a day?
Right, well, I got you now.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you with the, Hopworks, are you going to add that in?
Yeah.
So just when you think about those goals,
Gotcha.
break them down
Gotcha.
to smaller, specific,
Gotcha.
feel good about that, and then add something else in.
Okay. Well, I know, I guess one goal is to, what you were just saying, just the walking. I think doing a little bit more of that and being consistent.
Yes.
You know, I just do it throughout here and there, but I say, you know what, even my wife has told me, Cripps, just go for a walk every day. Just through the neighborhood, 15, 20 minutes. Just do it like every day in the morning before you start work or after work. And I said, yeah, you're right. Let me start doing that. And I think that's one goal that I want to do, is to just get more consistent in my walking. And just also, when I do my walking, leave the work and everything away.
Yes.
You know, I think that's a thing that has messed me up over the years, is that even though I am working out and stuff like that, but I still implement the work. You know, because I'm listening to podcasts. I might be listening to the podcast around the whole thing around hip hop and anime. You know, getting ideas from my customers.
Right.
You know, instead of just listening.
Separation.
Exactly. So I think making the separation into some of these workouts and stuff like that, I think that's my number one goal, doing that. Then also just changing my eating a little bit better. I've gotten better over the years. I used to drink a lot. I stopped. I've been drinking alcohol for like 4 years.
Wow.
And so I connected with a great business here called Moxie Mocktails.
Mocktails, yeah.
And so I also have her, in all our writings, we always have that type of option for folks. Because like, I don't drink, and I know there's a lot of people out there that don't drink as well. And so I say, hey, let's have those type of options. So she's been a huge help of helping me figure out some cool drink options, some low sugar options, as well. And so just continuing to do those things, but also just, instead of eating steak all the time, and pork chops, it is. I grew up on this stuff, so, but I say, you know what, let me just try to moderate some of this stuff and cut it down a little bit. And I know that's another goal that I want to do. I think just doing those things I probably eventually will see some drastic changes.
You will, you will. And once you are able to identify what those barriers are or challenges that have kept you from achieving those goals so far, once you can identify those and have a plan to work around those, you'll be just fine.
Right.
Look what we did, we'll just follow me when we get ready, and we'll, of course, lift that right foot up and just step out, show you what the part. Scoop, 45, press, return, and settle. Press out, breathe in, press out, breathe in, press out. Because we know that humans, we are tripartite beings. We are the mind, the body, and the soul. And so in Qigong helps aid and abet each component of the being, of the Homo sapiens. It helps the mind to bring balance and focus. You know what I'm saying? Especially being as busy as you are, and Ms. Cripps is busy, you know, the schedule. Breathing every day, Qigong, it helps filter the brain. It moves the oxygen around the brain, and it helps settle stress. And also, especially those who wear glasses, it helps kill that optical stress as well. It removes that optical stress, and you're able to see and focus. And by continually practicing breathing, especially for those who have hypertension, high blood pressure, and cholesterol, first, it combats hypertension through the centric breathing of focused breathing by bringing and controlling the breath into the cavity of the lung. And once we house that breath into the cavity of the lungs, we were able to take that last breath and inhale into the nostril, and from there, when we press it all the way out and press it down to what is called the hara, or the tambian, or the place of existence, we're able to press and filter all of that negative energy out. And practicing this type breathing, it helps bridge the stress by causing the blood to flow through the meridians. That's why we call it martial science, because it's a science to it. The breathing helps activate the blood becomes heated through the breathing. The breath is used to aid and to heal every part of our body.
What I took out of one of the first sessions I had with you is just the inhale calm, exhale stress. And so in any situation that you're in and you're feeling it, you just take a minute, even if you're doing it to yourself, but just inhale that calm, exhale that stress.
Yes. Yes, and rightly so. Doing this, it helps again. Folks don't understand, this is an internal healing art. It's a healing art. And the breathing, even though you can't see what it is doing, like when you get cut, you put a Band-Aid on that. We can see that Band-Aid. But if I have hypertension, I can't see my breath. Well, what my breath is doing is massaging my heart. It's massaging the organs. When I breathe in, it's strengthening my lungs. I breathe out. It's helping my diaphragm. When I breathe up, it's helping my pivot, my pelvic. When I breathe out, so what the breathing is doing, along with the exercise technique and movement, it's massaging and exercising the organs. And so you can't see the organs doing push-ups. But every time I breathe in, my lips is doing push-ups. When I breathe in, my heart says thank you for that push-up.
Yeah, I love it. Especially someone like myself, when you were talking about the cholesterol, my cholesterol is high. I'm also on the type 2 diabetic as well. And also I got arthritis in my knee. And so, this tackles all of that. And also you can go at your own pace as well. And I think that's what I like about it too. I'm not in the best shape like I used to be. But, I like it because you can come at any level. And also you can kind of go at your own pace, and it's easy to follow along. You're a great teacher also.
As you breathe in, your palm is riding the body. We come here, on the face, around the head, here, hold down the body. Now, the cholesterol part is, notice you haven't trained. So the breathing also forms the blood flow. comes from letting the body to be healed. And so as you do that, what that means, I'll tell you what it means. Thank you for asking. What that means is that as I breathe, that heat is getting hot. And so now it's causing the pores to open. Right. It's commanding the pores to open. And when you do that and the pores open and you exhale, it pushes all the impurities that are sweat out of our body. Thus, you are able to lose weight because the waterway, the sweat is part of the waterway. Also, to fight hypertension, as it pushes out the waterway, it also pushes out the salt in the body. You'll notice when you finish, you'll see a white line around your shirt. That's where the body pushes out the water, the sweat, and the salt. So, you push salt out, that means that's for against the hypertension. You push water out, that helps against the weight. So those two things that are visible that you can actually see keep on doing and working in your life.
That's right.
I love it.
As we reflect, think about your own chi. As you push to strive, to elevate, achieve, and succeed, are you taking care of your life force? Are you taking good care of health? Are you balancing the professional with the personal? Or are you so fixed on that goal that you lose focus of the beauty all around you? Until next time, my friends, be kind and be the calm in someone else's chaos.
Hey, nice.
Okay, sister. All right, I guess we can bring the light back up, Brandon.
Yeah, turn the light back on, lady.
As she joins us at the Q&A portion, a couple things that stuck out to me were, A, the John Henry, the machine. Like, we're fighting against the machine. We are the machine. Like, we're overexerting, overachieving, like, fictitious expectations that are put upon us by society, structural impositions. But also, I like how he highlighted, especially in the Black community, the lack of wanting to go to the doctor. I know myself, I have chronic illnesses, and I am the last one that's going to go to the doctor. Even when I know I need to, I'm like, I will figure out something. My mom's a witch doctor. I'm a self-medicate. I'm doing it at home. So, like, I also have, like, fears with medical institutions. In 2020, I had a very scary situation. I was in the middle of COVID, so I was in it by myself. A lot of things got hyper-escalated, and I was fearful of the doctor. And I'm very thankful for my community and Abdullah and Dr. Galliano insisting that I get the medical help that I did need. And I actually did end up needing surgical help, but it was because I had people who cared enough about me to advocate for me as I was calming my chaos to help me find the necessity of pursuing that. But then also something Chris said, like the self-imposed stress, like a lot of the stress that we're dealing with, and I can speak for myself, whether it's work or life expectations, it's self-imposed stress. Nobody else is putting these deadlines on me. No one else is defining the level of greatness that I have to achieve or subscribe to. No one else is telling me what burden to pick up or what fight to fight or what, rally to rally at. Like, it's self-imposed stress, it's self-imposed expectations that I thereby end up having to waver. Am I crashing out or am I catching that chaos? Those are three of the things that just like blew my mind. I mean, beautifully interweb, like blew my mind.
Well, not good at it.
I mean, relatable that you addressed it and you brought it up. And again, it's one of those things, like, it's not just me. It's like I'm not the only one. And like I'm a cognitive being. Like, so I consider myself educated and exposed. So like I know it's not just me, but to hear and to see that with other community members, and I'm sure our community members out here, it might have resonated with you as well. Like, it's not just me that thinks those things. It's not just me that has those fears. They're prevalent. Prevalent to the point that you brought them up, that he addressed them and shared some personal experiences. And you previously shared some personal experiences as well. It's a beautiful reminder. So like I do receive that as well, because I think that's something in our community. We feel like a lot of our problems are ours, and we don't acknowledge that they are sometimes self-imposed, but we still think that we're suffering or fighting our own battle. But this is a very humble, warm reminder that someone is going through the same thing, if not like the same adjacent. And so like I applaud. It was wonderful. Yeah, of course.
Touching on the John Henry, I take that back to a personal experience myself where I was actually told that I need to lower my chair to not make the individuals feel like I was
more educated than I was, and I was told I need to lower my chair. I need to physically,
Like physically lower the chair that you're sitting in?
My chair.
What?
Yes, when I'm sitting across, so they feel more comfortable.
Wow.
And that was from someone of the office. It was a male.
Of course.
So
sorry, no jabs at you guys, but like,
right.
of course.
Yeah, but I carried that with me every single day, and of course, it bothered me at the time. But from that time, I've always said I will never let anyone tell me that I need to lower myself to make them feel comfortable.
Yes.
Absolutely not. And then with the health, you have to be your own health advocate.
Yeah.
And I personally have had an experience of going to the doctor, and it ultimately involved having surgery. But
Right.
however, I left there in tears because the doctor was just throwing out options and didn't hear me.
Yes.
He did not hear what I was saying. So that was not provided for me. And a lot of times we go to these doctors and they're the doctor and we're thinking they know best.
Yeah.
We need to be comfortable, and if you're not comfortable, you're not comfortable. You don't have to use that provider.
Trust
You
that
can
gut.
go- You have to trust your gut and go somewhere else, but you have to be your own health advocate.
For people who might not know health, I mean, a lot of us don't know medical or have medical backgrounds or medical advocacy. How do you be your health advocate? I know we said trust your gut, like, and again, like I will never dumb down like that statement. Like, please trust your feelings in your stomach. If you feel weird, if something's weird, get out of that situation, get out of that environment. But outside of just listening to your tummy, how can we be our own health advocate if we just like don't even like know options or what's out there?
But if you don't know, don't be afraid to ask the question in the appointment. We just sit there and listen to what they're giving us. They'll give us some paperwork, they'll tell us to take this medicine.
These
take
big
it
words.
home. And we don't know, but the doctor said I'm supposed to take this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it. You should be able to explain to someone else what your doctor said to you. And if you are unable to do that, he needs to simplify his language, and there's nothing wrong with that until you understand and then can speak about it yourself. That's one thing. And then there are within the community support on, hey, I had this visit, as comfortable as you are discussing your
with your
personal-
people.
Right. I had this visit. I'm not quite clear, or I'm not comfortable. A lot of times finding individuals who may share the same diagnosis, support groups, that also helps as well.
I like that. So finding intentional community,
Right,
leaning
yes.
on the people who are your chosen family. And then I like what you said, don't be scared to ask them to explain it differently. Like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're saying, so say it in a different way.
Yeah, one of the things you can do too as well, like, because again, medical language can be very, you know what I'm saying?
They use big words.
It can be elite, right? But the human relationship is not elite, right? So if I ask a question, I can check the pulse of my doctor to the degree that I measure how willing and comfortable they are with explaining. I don't understand. Look at what they're saying, right? But if they take that time and they level up with me and they get that I don't understand, and they begin to take their time to communicate, like to me, in a language that they think I may be able to understand, they shift their language. This is the person that's concerned with me understanding, right? Now, I may not take their advice in that moment, right? But I walked away feeling like that doctor as a human, like seeing me, is comfortable with me, right? So I'm gonna be a little bit more comfortable, right, with hearing what they have to say.
Yeah.
I may not have access to the community, I may, right? I may not have a choice in the matter. Most medical situations, you really don't have a choice.
Yeah, you got to do what they say.
But I can feel more comfortable that person across the room from me level set, adjusted, and try to make me understand versus someone that's dismissive.
Yes.
Versus someone that's frustrated, right, that I even ask.
Yes.
And I'm really like, yeah, I don't know if I want to rock with you. I don't know if it's not about your advice. I don't know if I want to rock with you.
Like your energy, like I don't want to deal with you.
And that's kind of like translating beyond the medical languages as a human. Like, are you connecting with me at that level or whatnot? You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the ways for people that may not have that opportunity because we don't always, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you do, I agree. Talk to a person in the community. You know, my mama, she's seeing screenshots of stuff all the time. I send the screenshots. It's okay. Mama, it's okay. If you have that resource, access it. If you don't, then take it back to the human level. Are you willing to connect with me?
No, I like that point that you pointed out because, like I said, especially in like marginalized communities, sometimes it's going to the doctor. There's a barrier of fear or distrust in general.
Absolutely.
but having that knowledge that you actually can ask the doctor. Like the doctor is there to take care of your health, yes, but your mental health and your understanding, that's health as well. So ask them, hey, like I said, I don't get what you're saying. You're using really big words. Like, say it again differently. And I think that's something we as community members can remind and encourage our family and our friends. Like, you actually can ask your doctor to say it differently.
And don't feel bad about asking.
Right.
You have to get past your own self
Yes.
sometimes. And ask the questions. And
That's self-imposed stress.
Right. But they think whatever they want to think. I need to know what this is.
Yeah. I love that. So everyone who watched the film, if you'd like to share, please tell us something that stuck out, or if you had a question or something that resonated with you as you were listening. Like I said, the John Henry machine thing, really, I see that a lot, especially in the work that we do here and the community members that we work with. We have these unrealistic expectations of perfection, and it's something that I know I struggle with sometimes, just doing the best all of the time and then not even really have a definition of what the best is.
I just commend you on selecting Cripps for the subject matter, right, focus.
Yes.
It's very down to earth.
Yeah.
Very authentic, right? Very transparent, right? And he works within a field that is cross-pollinated with this, like, I'm in the office, but I'm also kind of in my creative type of mode. So, whether it's the universe or the Most High that gave you him as an option, pick someone that is in a way really relatable.
Yeah.
Right, he's really relatable, he's laid back, right, in terms of how he's communicating. And I think you guys connected at a level where you guys felt comfortable. I'm pretty sure it was, I don't know, was it multiple conversations before you all went to that space, and actually, how did that work out? Like, I'm interested in how did you get the, because it's a very down-to-earth documentary, but the actual relationship and the expertise, right, that you was able to bring into the space, right, his transparency, his willingness to go into the hot thing. Right?
And walk out with 2 memberships.
When he was going, right, she was getting into it doing this, right, I ain't do all that.
I told us, I said, I saw you look over, I've been competitive, like, I'm doing it.
I ain't doing all that. Was it a process to get to that space, or was it just really an organic thing, like, hey, I'm interested in doing this, you've seen that he was somebody that was willing, and y'all kind of made it happen, or did y'all kind of really build that type of actual chemistry and being able to discuss and, have conversations about things before you got to that place?
You know what, I can't even recall exactly how I met. Oh, I do remember. It was Genesis Block.
Okay.
We were with Jay right here. We were on we were on a panel for entrepreneurs and all that stuff. So that's how I met Chris.
Okay.
And so I said, hey, I knew what space he was in. I was like, hey, I want to talk to you about my idea.
Okay.
So he was like a mentor, and he was listening to me develop this. And then he was like, hey, I ought to participate.
Oh, wow.
I said, I think you should.
Wow.
And that is how.
So it went you reaching out to him with the idea of doing a documentary, you guys building, him offering you ideals and support and making it happen, to then you guys coming to the conclusion that he would be kind of like a good focus. That's pretty. That's a story.
It's really organic.
Like that's a story in itself, right?
Putting yourself out there,
Yes.
and you have an idea. Like I said, if I have something in my head, I'm gonna find a way to make it happen.
I like
Great
that.
work. Great work.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to chime in or say something?
I mean, you already said it. The John Henry analogy is just so powerful. Like just digging back into that story. Like I hadn't heard of that story in so long, and then hearing it as a kid and not necessarily knowing what it entails. He just worked himself until he died.
Yeah.
And now hearing it now as an adult and being able to tie it to like what that story actually meant as a black man, and how you can be used as a chattel to just to sacrifice yourself to make you feel like you gotta work twice as hard just to get half as far. That like really resonated with me, and that feeling of feeling like you have to prove something, but like that drive for greatness inside of yourself because you know that you are great and people around you don't necessarily see it, but you want to prove it, and trying to find the balance between not working yourself to death, running yourself ragged, but also getting to the point where you do feel like your greatness and your light is shining. And like being able to toe that line and focusing on the health of yourself, that really stood out to me, and I'm thankful for you for delivering that message and, you know, having that in a storytelling way, because storytelling is a way that we pass down what's important to us, and it's so important to our tradition. So I'm appreciative of you for sharing.
Amazing. Anybody else?
I don't know, something about like, even like the part where like Shion and like, I hear you guys talking about that, and like, I have a mobility issue and some health things, and I'm always a little standoffish, I guess, like, I gotta do or something. But something about the way that you tied it in with like the rest of it, and actually, I'm like thinking to myself, like, why have I never like taken a minute to that, you know, like, I don't know, it just kind of all came together like full circle, I guess, like relating like stress and the chaos that you said to just like health issues, and like sometimes people don't make that connection, even if they're on their face every day. It's just not those people to see it all.
If I could jump in and say something to that point, Shihan is such an excellent teacher. He has a program for whatever level you are.
Yep, it's adapted.
And whatever you're going through, like Shihan is incredible. He's had hip surgeries himself, hip replacements, and it doesn't like
Back
keep him down.
surgeries,
Yeah, I've watched Shihan be able to deliver his methods to people sitting down.
Yeah.
And
Brother Robbie's mother was here, and now she's like walking around running.
So connect. You're at the right place, and just don't be afraid to get out there, and and let Shihan be there.
Or even tap into your fellow community health workers who are trained Shihans. You don't have to rely on Brother Shihan. There are several Sifus in your community that can help you do the adapted and then get your strength and your encouragement and just like plug in. So yes, you have people who are here to work with you. I have two questions. I would like to, if I can remember, I have one question. Yeah, crap. I spaced out. Yeah, you go right ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, well, I'm thinking of my question.
I was going to add on to what your questions or what your concerns were. So, the most damaging thing that we can do to ourselves is live a sedentary lifestyle. We're not meant to be sedentary.
Yeah.
10 minutes, taking your time out is great. And I'm kind of, I know what I'm talking about in this field. So the sedentary lifestyle is what gets us the way that we're not moving, we're not interacting, we're living sedentary, we're getting up to get a snack, whatever, we're sitting back down, we're not moving. We're not meant to do that. We're human beings, we're meant to move. Once you get up and you start moving, and you start doing something like Shihan, you start breathing, you start taking a walk like Chris started doing stuff like that, you're going to slowly, and in a short amount of time, you're going to start to feel it. Right? So then along with the getting up and moving and not living that sedentary lifestyle is we have to choose a healthy lifestyle by what we eat. Right? So I'm a personal trainer. I don't diet. I don't tell nobody, don't die, I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. I want pizza, I'm gonna eat pizza. If I want to take out steak, I'm not taking steak out of my diet. That's not what Chris is talking about out there. I'm not doing it. But I choose the proportions that I eat.
Yes.
I choose at what times I eat.
Yes.
And I'm not sedentary. So you have to get in a mind frame of a healthy living lifestyle. And then when you bring something like Shihan or any of the other, martial arts, any of them, like I do with Kido and some other things, right? You get moving. Right? Because one pound of body fat equals 7 pounds of pressure off of your joints.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. So you start to feel better. You're like, oh, my knees don't hurt anymore. I was going through all kind of chronic stuff because I spent 21 years in the Marine Corps just destroying my body. Yeah. And so I was sedentary for a while. And when I decided to get up and start getting back in the gym and doing stuff, I no longer have to go see a doctor about my knees. Or I don't have an L4 and L5. I don't see a doctor about that. It feels good because I'm in the gym, I'm working out, and I'm moving. And you'd be surprised what your mind can do over what medication can do.
Yeah. No, I totally, at first got diagnosed, like, within 4 weeks, I was like in a wheelchair on oxygen, my son's 2 years old. I attribute, I take a lot of treatments and things, but I attribute learning to walk again to physical therapy. Like, I've been doing physical therapy every week. 14 years. But I feel like that piece right there, like that mental piece, I guess, of like breathing the way he was like, that, I love this therapy, but some of that is missing, and that, I mean, that's a necessary component. Even what you were saying, like taking intentionally, like scheduling your own time, just like you would schedule all the other things that you do, you know, in your life, but you don't think like I need to schedule like 10 minutes just to, that's not a lot of time, you know, but we don't do that. All of that together, I think, is a really necessary piece that a lot of people are missing, and they do feel guilty, you know, like, I know I gotta do this, and this, but then when you bring it all together, I think even just with variable piece, with like the Kegon and the breathing, what he was saying is super profound, and how you like, the steps that you took to get up to that, you know, that was like super helpful.
I heard we have an online comment.
Yeah, she can unmute.
Oh, sorry. Alicia, we can hear you.
All right, yeah, thank you. I wanted to just highlight a couple of things regarding the medical communication. I think it's important for people to understand that if you have a good provider, they will welcome your questions. They seek out those questions. So I teach medical students and family medicine residents, and my focus is on communication. But it is really interesting because oftentimes, you know, they will say, what questions, you know, they'll say, do you have any questions? And there, no questions will come up. No questions will come up, partly because, you know, maybe people are a little bit inhibited for different reasons. And I, you know, try to stress that you can just change your, you know, your word choice a little bit and say, what questions do you have? Just, you know, to let them know that we actually expect questions. We want to engage the patients. But it's also really important to remember that depending on what setting those providers are in, they may be being expected to be in and out of your room in 7 minutes. And so you do have to advocate for yourself in those settings as well. So both being prepared and willing to ask the questions, and also to advocate for yourself.
That's huge. That's huge. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. So where can we find your stuff? You said this is one of multiple episodes and more to come. So how can we follow, support, stay plugged in with your exploration of documentation?
Well, I would have to say that the best thing to be, my social media person is here right now. I can't even answer that question.
Come on up and tell us. Come on up and tell us. We want to know how we can follow, support, plug in, you know, etc.
So right now the production is still going. We're still trying to edit and do some things. So those will be coming soon, hopefully sooner than later. But right now on Instagram and Facebook, it's called the Chaos TV. So you can follow there and like. I'm pushing her to release more material on a daily basis or so many times a day so we can get that out there, because I wouldn't be a part of it or help out if I didn't believe in the message. If I didn't believe in what Tiffany does for the community, I wouldn't be involved in it. I'd just be doing my own thing. So I'm very appreciative. I'm on one of the shows. Extremely helpful. Some of the other people I've seen that are on the show just changed their lives. So I'm down for it. I'm going to be here sticking with her. Don't hear my show. But,
no, they all get in.
Exactly.
But again, Instagram and Facebook, just call me Chaos TV, and she will be pushed to put out more material very shortly.
Well, her community, her fellow Sifus will politely hold her accountable for putting her information out there. And like all of our other presenters, those who are watching virtually, as well as those who are in the room, her stuff will be listed. You will have links to where we can find her on Sukadas's webpage, as well as our Facebook. So this is not the first time we're going to hear from her, see her. This is definitely not the last time that she's going to share healing spaces and advocation and encouragement of moving people forward. And then, like I said, fellow Sifu, like we're holding you accountable to getting out here and unapologetically, intentionally holding space for healing that's necessary. Thank you for doing the hard work and being vulnerable tapping in, using your creative field to make it digestible for people. I feel like sometimes, especially in clinical settings, like Dr. Galliano was saying, like you're inhibited. You don't know how to ask the words or say the things. But art makes it easy. Art makes it relatable. Art lets you see yourself in someone that you admire, or you put on a platform, and you're like, it humanizes our struggles. And again, it reminds us we're not alone, you guys. We're more connected than we give ourselves credit or acknowledgement. So honestly, thank you very much for being here.
And for the record, it was an excellent capstone for Saturday night, so thank you so very much. You know what I'm saying? You did an excellent job, excellent facilitation.
Oh, thank you. It's easy to talk to a friend. You give me some good panels. Awesome. Thank you so much. And I guess that's the end of Saturday night, y'all.